Nick, have you ever seen any James Bond movies?
A couple, yeah.
Which ones? Have you seen Goldfinger?
Yeah, I saw Goldfinger. I've seen Moonraker. That one's so bad. Everyone has to watch it.
We will have to watch that next.
I've seen... What was the first one with Daniel Craig in it? Casino Royale?
Yeah, Casino Royale.
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace.
That one's not very good.
I think Quantum of Solace is a good movie if you watch it like right after Casino Royale.
Yeah, because it takes place immediately, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like right. Yeah, because like Casino Royale ends with him like murking that dude in the knee,
and then
he's like, "Who are you?"
The building falling down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that guy lives to be in Spectre. He dies in Spectre.
No, I never saw Spectre.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Well, we watched the last two Daniel Craig movies, Spectre and No Time to Die.
The only two I haven't seen. Are they good?
Yeah, they're both pretty good. It's interesting because Spectre made a choice that a lot of people didn't find very popular, and then No Time to Die is kind of just like, well, Spectre was a bomb, so let's wrap this up real quick. Right. And interestingly, spoiler
real quick,
alert,
it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie. But that's how you wrap things up.
That's how you wrap up a franchise real quick. Well, I guess they're not wrapping up the franchise, just Craig's time.
The bad guy of Spectre is Christoph Waltz. Worst part of Spectre, unfortunately.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I know.
When Christoph Waltz, for Christoph Waltz to be bad, number one,
Yeah. And then the bad guy in No Time to Die was Rami Malek. He played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. He's also in a show called Mr. Robot that I like quite a bit.
He has almost like a cameo in 1917. Did you ever see that? The World War I movie? Huh. Phenomenal. It's from the same guy who directed Skyfall, actually.
Okay. He also directed Spectre.
No shit.
Yeah. And it's American Beauty.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's filmed to look like it's all one take.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, it is one of the most intense war movies ever. Usually I don't like war movies as a role, just as a veteran. Like, the bad ones make me angry and the good ones make me cry.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the few where it's like, no, I got like welled up at points. But it's such a great movie. It's just...
And World War I assume.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Cool.
It's actually based on... I can't remember that director's name now. It's based on the exploits of his
Sam Mendes?
And then No Time to Die is a different director, which is strange because after Skyfall, it was kind of like a continuous story.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. So Spectre is picks up directly right after?
Yeah, pretty much just after Skyfall. Trying to remember where exactly it picks up. But No Time to Die was a little too long, but it was really, really fun. It was a really quippy James Bond movie. Mm. And after we watched that, I showed her Thunderball. Because Thunderball has
Goldfinger.
Oh, right. Whoops. Goldfinger. I get them confused because I saw them at around the same time. Goldfinger has 4 puns about oh, I just killed someone, let me make a quip. And so it's throws a fan in some guy in a bath. That's shocking.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Shocker.
Goldfinger sends a guy to get killed, and he gets crushed.
Just to get killed.
Yeah. Well,
if he's sending him against James Bond, so of course that's the other reason. That's all he's doing.
He's actually just sending him away with Oddjob, and Oddjob shoots him, and then he gets crushed in a car compactor thing. Mm-hmm. And when he comes back, Oddjob just is carrying the little square in his trunk, and Goldfinger goes, he had a pressing engagement. It's dang, that's another one. And there was one when Goldfinger dies that's almost there, but it's not a joke about how he died, it's just a joke that he is dead, and it was where's Goldfinger? Playing his golden little harp. And it's
his golden little...
women dying, 4 women just die in Goldfinger because they met James Bond.
No, that's pretty much what happens to every woman who meets James Bond throughout the franchise. That's the reason why there's a different Bond girl per movie.
I really liked No Time to Die. It has the same overarching Bond girl as Spectre, but in the beginning they introduce a Bond girl named Paloma, and she's I've only had 3 weeks of training, I'm so excited to be doing this, and then there's a really cool fight scene. Mm-hmm. I don't remember seeing a lot of Bond girls have fun fight scenes like that, so that was neat.
I think Spectre and No Time to Die were very actively trying to rebuke the anti-feminist identity of James Bond by having strong female characters, and because it is
instead of just oh, here's a beautiful woman for bond to
They're
bang
still
and then watch
insanely
die.
beautiful, and he does bang them, but like,
But they got more going for him than just that.
yeah. Well, like the girl that he hooks up with Inspector, yeah, he's like still with her like years later at the start of No Time to Die, and they
then
end
they
up
break
having
up,
a,
and then they get back together.
they break up because she's like pregnant and trying to hide it from him.
Yeah.
And so he ends up like 5 years later, like finding her again, finding out he has a daughter. She's pretending it's not his, but it like obviously
But he's
is.
like, she's got my eyes. Look at the eyes.
Yeah.
And like one of the very last things she says to him before the movie ends is, and you're right, she does have your eyes. And he's just like, duh.
Yeah.
I know, I said it.
But yeah, No Time to Die is like it's very sappy, and it's like 3 hours long. If not for that, it would be pretty. It's fun and fine.
Rami Malek is, of course, a great actor, but he could have been more threatening at any point in the movie. He's
Well,
just...
Christoph Waltz's biggest problem is that he was not threatening the fuck at all.
Well,
He's
he
just
was
a
putting
small
tiny
old man.
drills into James
Sure,
Bond's head
but
and
like
stuff.
I just the whole time was thinking like if James Bond like wanted to, he could just crush this guy's head. Like contextually, it's
I had that thought earlier. One of my coworkers is like a huge fan of the Halloween movies, and I know like the Halloween Kills where it comes out. That's supposed to wrap up this new trilogy or whatever.
Yeah.
The new duology that follows the original trilogy. Whatever. They show though like in the trailer, it's like Michael Myers and Laurie are throwing each other around the kitchen.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
she's
It's like you take into consideration though, because at work we had some downtime. We googled it. Myers was born like 1958, so he's like essentially 74.
He's a really old
Yeah, and
dude.
like
Okay.
Laurie's like what?
Pretty old.
As-
16, 14,
old.
like yeah, she's.
Oh, wait, do they
she's
have a
gotta
new
be pushing
Laurie?
her 60. No, it's still.
Oh,
Jamie
it's
okay.
still
Myers.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but once you recontextualize Michael, like this new movie, it's like, oh, it's gonna be so good, it's gonna be intense. It's like, it's two fucking retirees trying to
Yeah.
kill each other. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be intense, but it's also like at any point, like if I walked in on like a 75-year-old man with like a knife, it's like, oh no, I'm
no,
gonna break
I'd
your
break
hip.
your
and
shin.
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm gonna kick you really hard in the knee and wait for the cops to get here.
Well, but have you seen the original Halloween?
Yeah.
So, you know, he dies gets like life-ending wounds 3 separate times in that movie, and he's still fucking around.
That's true.
I am curious, like, what
Well, see, that's
genre of monster he is.
Right.
Because, like, everyone that worked on the original Halloween, said they didn't like the Rob Zombie one because it, like, humanizes him. And, like, John Carpenter's quoted as saying, no, Michael Myers is just evil. He's like the embodiment of evil. He's not supposed to have motivations. He's just supposed to be doing it because he's evil, which is interesting.
Just a very
yeah.
just very was it flatline character arc.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna do me, and the world's gonna react accordingly.
Well, it's like it's because if you can explain what's wrong with him, then you can like fix it somehow. You could say, oh well, if we just weeded out these behaviors, he would have been fine. And it's
Well,
like
no, because he
it's not supposed
killed
to be
his
like that.
sister as a young child, and then he
Yeah.
just like stared at a wall for 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a certain behavior you could have gotten out of Michael. Maybe if he didn't see his sister bang someone, but then he'd just see someone else bang someone else and want to kill them. It's a weird.
It's hard to know if the
motivation.
sex was really connected to it at all.
Or she was just kind of like getting piped the day he decided
Yeah.
he was gonna murder her.
Maybe. Why did?
Or-
Yeah, if he saw it, why didn't he kill the boyfriend? That's.
I think he just went up there and killed her right after that happened.
That's unfortunate. Didn't even do anything.
Because it wasn't like all the other girls were getting laid when he came after them. He
That's
just
true,
came
yeah.
after
Yeah,
all
one
the
of
girls
them
in the
was.
neighborhood. One
They were all
but-
trying to get laid. One of them was trying to drive to her boyfriend. Well, I guess Laurie wasn't, but the first girl was trying to drive to her boyfriend's house, and Michael kills her in the car. And then the other girl is literally like fresh off having sex
Yeah.
when the guy gets pinned up to the wall, which is so funny.
I mean, Laurie might have lived because she didn't fuck, but that didn't have any effect on Michael's desire to murder
Kill
her.
her, yeah. Maybe it's because she had like just an inkling of wanting to have sex, and Michael Myers can like pick up on that. He's got like a sixth sense.
Maybe it's because it was like the late 70s and the 80s were coming around, and just everyone had to fuck on camera. This is the 80s.
Yeah. There are a lot of boobs in 70s to 80s movies. And 90s movies. Pretty much up until now have there been boobs. in
Have there
those
always been
movies.
boobs?